Welcome back to Access All Areas. Damien Barrett and I joined by Dr Peter Larkins with all the latest injury news from round 10. And Doc, Scotty Pendlebury was to be our special guest today, but for obvious reasons not with us. What's the latest?
Yeah, the latest is he had a scan this morning. Just have a look and see if he had any internal structural damage on that knee. He gets a bit of medial tweak, as they've called it. We just see the contact with his lower leg, and his right knee gets pushed in towards the left-hand side. Now, this is early in the game, a couple of minutes in. You just see that little movement, Das, where he just flicks the medial side. They took him off and had a look at him, did some drills downstairs. You see him limping off there. He came back on and he actually had 17 touches at half-time. You see the vision heading in for the scan. So, look, he's optimistic he's going to play Monday. He's got 7 days break still to come with the Queen's birthday game. So at the time, I thought it was just a minor medial, and that's, at the moment, the scan results are being analysed. We haven't even got them at this stage, but I'm sure with the result of that, that he'll probably be right to go. It's a question of whether they give him the one off.
Doc, he thinks he's right to go, and he stopped to talk to reporters as he got that scan this morning.
It feels alright. It feels alright. I'm able to walk pretty pain-free, so get a scan and then show it to the blokes in the know and see what they say.
What did you feel like happened?
I just went down and just felt a little bit of pain, but obviously be able to run out that first half, and then just wanted to be cautious at half-time, and there was no point really going back out there.
And just in terms of the initial test last night, Pendles, what did they say?
Well, we did all the testing as soon as it happened. I went down the race and gave me the all clear to go back on, so I was just being really cautious at half time. And the game was over at that stage, so there's no point to go back on.
So there's some cause for optimism there.
Yeah, I'll be right for Monday. Cheers, mate.
Scott Pendlebury there this morning. He thinks he's right. Doc, someone who isn't right and won't be for 12 months or so is Daniel Menzel from Geelong. It was his good knee, his first game back, that he did on the weekend playing in the VFL.
Damo, 9 months to the day that he had his right knee reconstruction, and this is the left knee. This is his 40 minutes into his comeback game. Just goes to change direction. He feels the pressure inside the knee. As he's going off, he was hoping his kneecap had slipped out. You can see him checking his own knee there because he had the sense of movement in the knee, but the doctors were all on top of that pretty quickly. Even,
can you have weak ACLs as such?
Look, the short answer is yes. You can have a genetic predisposition where your ligaments are either stretchy or fragile or rigid ones. So we know there's differences in people's flexibility just naturally. So having had one on the other side, it means that your knee design is prone to getting them. His brother's had one, so there's a family link, and we know that from in siblings regularly. So the answer is yes, and it's just psychologically, it's just a big comeback, Das, as you know, having had 2 in a 9-month period.
Yeah, absolutely tragedy there for Daniel Menzel. Let's whip through some other cats quickly, Doc. Corey Enright.
Yeah, Corey Enright has been playing with a sore heel, been playing with a little bit of painkilling injections. They gave him the week off just to give him a chance to try and settle that down, and hopefully they reckon he'll be back to play. Christensen got knocked out also in the VFL game. It was his comeback game after a calf injury. They wanted to get a half into him. Look, he had a lot of problems with memory afterwards, so being a young player, I reckon he'll miss another week. Joel Corey has been playing with a bit of a sore shoulder again, was having trouble with during the week. He'll be right to play this coming week.
Tommy Hawkins
had an arthroscope for removing a bursa inside the knee. It's a really minor arthroscope. They said he'll probably play this coming week. I suspect he'll have another week off. A bursa's like a little blister in the knee. Not a structural thing, but I reckon he'll miss one more.
And Motlop was a player that was omitted as well.
Yeah, having a good season, isn't he, Motlop? And look, he's been having some shoulder soreness, and he got a hit on one of the shoulders. And look, again, they're just trying to... It's about team balance again at Geelong, and they wanted him to be right, and they letting that little niggle settle down. I reckon Motlop will be right to play.
Doc, let's take a look at an incident yesterday, Sydney Swans versus Bulldogs. Luke Parker of the Swans cops a big hit there. What's happened?
Classic hip and shoulder. We see it in matches all the time. This is a broken collarbone, which is going to cost him potentially 8 to 10 weeks. So you see Matty Boyd just come in, a beautiful hip and shoulder, but it's just the way it hits the angle, and he had the shoulder pain. They've confirmed that he's got a broken collarbone, may require surgery on it today, and if that's the case, he's going to miss 8 weeks minimum.
Matthew Boyd, one of those powerful people. When you get hit by him, Doc, you know all about it. Jay Schultz spent a night in hospital.
He did. Look, they were concerned about some abdominal injury here. He just flips over the top of Tui. You see him coming through, and I thought he hurt his ribs at the time. He certainly was having trouble breathing, and they took him to hospital. There were some equivocal x-rays. Ribs are hard to see low down there, Das, right down at the bottom of the rib cage. Did some scans looking at his liver and his kidney. They've ruled out any abdominal damage, but he was pretty sore. Spent the night in hospital, as you said. He'll need to get through a fitness test, but no major structure.
Doc, Mitch Clark played out the game on Saturday night. Will he play in the Queen's birthday game?
Look, he was really struggling through the game. They were working on his back and his glute, and he had sore glute, and he was working. I thought they were going to sub him out. They had to sub out Sam Queensland Blues with a hip injury, as it turned out. But look, he'd be really struggling early part of the week, Mitch Clark. Wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't train much, but they were hoping he'd be right.
James Frawley, a late withdrawal for the Demons with a foot.
Yeah, look, he had the plantar fascia problem as well. He was in a moon boot, as we talked about on Access last week, and they couldn't quite get him up. But I reckon if it's an important game, as it will be on the Monday, they'll get him back.
And Travis Boak's got a bit of plantar.
Travis Boak been playing well. He's been in the news. He's got the same problem. They're talking about doing a little operation to remove a bit of the ligament. Usually miss 2 or 3 matches, so Boak might be going for surgery this week.
And the Blues have got injuries, as we know. Cruiser in Scotland.
Cruiser didn't play on the weekend.
Yeah.
They said he had a tight hamstring, Das, but I've never seen a tight hamstring that doesn't restrict you for the following week as well. So it'll be touch and go whether Cruiser can get through that. And Heath Scotland, who's been a great warrior, did a calf injury on the weekend. They've put him out for 3 or 4 already.
I'll get you to stick around and sort out my bronchitis in a second.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to miss a week.
I'm coughing up all sorts here at the moment. Stephen Hill copped a nasty bump.
Nasty bump at the shoulder. Now, Stephen Hill, again, one of those gangly players. He's very flexible. We talk about genetics with Menzel before. You see him get tackled here. But just watch, it's the elbow that hits the ground and forces his arm up into the shoulder. And actually subluxes a little bit out the back, I think, Dar. So it's not the AC. It's actually a bit of a slip shoulder. He'll be sore during the week, but they can strap those ones up. So whilst he'll be sore, he'll play for Freo.
And Doc, another player who's had injury troubles this year, Simon Black. What's his latest?
Well, he's got a childhood injury. And what I mean by that, he was playing with his 8-month-old. We heard he missed the game on the weekend, having just twisted his knee. It was pretty sore inside. They gave him the week off. He'll have to go through some pretty rigorous testing, so it wouldn't surprise me if Black needs 1 more week.
Thanks again, Doc. Comprehensive as always.
Can't fix you, Das, but anyway.
Unbelievable. I'll get you to stick around. And well done, Dame. I look forward to seeing you on Friday.
Cheers, Das. We'll do.
Get into afl.com.au, the latest news and video on the game. As I said, it'll be Damo and Lee Matthews back on Friday's edition of Access All Areas. But from us now, it's goodbye.